بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Right. Can my makeup fasts after Ramadan count as 6 fasts of Shawwal? Starting off with it's a very serious, interesting question. Okay, well, first of all, this is based on, where does this stem from? It comes from a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ has said that Man sama Ramadan, whosoever fasts Ramadan, ثم أتبعه بست من شوال فكان كصيام الدهر أو فكأنما صام الدهر كله. Okay. Nice to see everybody's paying attention. Right, so the whosoever fasts Ramadan and then follows it up with 6 fasts of Shawwal or from Shawwal, it is as though he has fasted the entire dahar, the entire age, or some say the entire year or his whole life, however you want to interpret it. So the question here, I think we'll take a look at what are the rulings of Shawwal in another question. But here, can we combine the two? So if a person, let's say, more often than not, this is probably either to do with somebody who was traveling, if it's a man or a woman, or perhaps some women may have, due to their menstrual cycle, missed some fasts, or maybe some men nowadays in the universal world. I don't know if Maz seems rather concerned there, but so in which case, can they combine the two? Can they say, okay, now I'm going to fast Shawwal, I'm going to do 2 ibadahs with the same niyyah. So I'm fasting one day, but my intention is this is also Ramadan fast, qada, and it is also a Shawwal fast. Now, the thing is that there is a difference of opinion amongst the scholars regarding this. This is called combining ibadat, or what they call tashrikul ibadat biniyya, that you put multiple worships, acts of worship under one intention. Now, in some things, the ulama generally accept that is okay, where there is compatibility, where there is no clash between the two, where there's no, what's a better word? Exclusivity. Allah. Exclusivity. So let's say you have to take a bath for Jum'ah, and you happen to also take a bath for janaba, because you're junub, in a state of major ritual impurity, right? Now, can't you just do both in one, or do you have to take 2 separate kind of showers? No, you can just do both in one. Very few people from the ulama will object to that, because both seem compatible. By taking a shower, it is a shower for Jummah. At the same time, it is removing the state of major ritual impurity. But for things like Ramadan, now a fast takes up the entire day. That fast, that day is allocated for a fast. So is there enough space to squeeze in another fast? As in to say, well, this covers both. Here, the general understanding is that no, you cannot do that. I mean, there is ikhtilaf. I clearly accept there is a difference of opinion amongst the ulama. But the understanding is you cannot combine between an obligatory prayer and a nafil prayer. Okay, I do know that there is a difference amongst some of the Shafi'iyya and some people who have allowed combining multiple worships under one intention, but generally the Malikiyya and amongst them the Hanafiyya as well, and like I said, there is some difference, but people generally say you cannot combine an obligatory prayer or an obligatory worship with a non-obligatory worship. Okay, you have to separate the two. And And one of the examples for this as well, they will then discuss, a lot of the ulama will say, okay, can you fast these days of Shawwal before making up your Ramadan? And that in itself is a proof that they did object to. Otherwise, they would just say, just do them both then. Why do you have to, why would they even go into lengthy discussions on, can you do the makeup before making up Ramadan, do the 6th of Shawwal, then make up Ramadan? If they had no problem in combining them, they would just say, listen, just let them count as both. So that's as far as that, as this issue is concerned. Some people may object, does that make it more difficult for some women to, or people who've missed some days of Ramadan, to catch the Shawwal and do that? I mean, not necessarily. The first thing you have to remember, the hadith does say, Man sama Ramadan, whosoever fasts Ramadan, as in he has completed or she has completed Ramadan, ثُمَّ أَتْبَعَهُ بِسِتٍّ مِّن شَوَّالٍ. Then, and thumma means after a gap. And this is how many of the ulama understood this. I recognize the Shafi'iyya disagreed. Many of the ulama understood you split them up, the 6 days of Shawwal. You generally don't do them together. I mean, that's Imam Malik clearly, the Maliki madhab, even predominantly the Hanafi madhab, about splitting them up right throughout. And the Malikiyya said right up until, in fact, they said it's better to do it in the month of Hajj, Dhul Hijjah. And they said that this was just for ease. The Prophet ﷺ said Shawwal. He wasn't designating it to Shawwal. So that's interesting. And I know there is a discussion by Imam Malik where he's not too keen on fasting the 6 days of Shawwal as it is. Perhaps we can discuss that at another point. And also, surprisingly, with him on that is Imam Abu Hanifa as well, that they don't seem to recognize the Shawwal. Anyway, so that's the ruling, not to combine between two intentions. Okay.